The coffee shop on Maple Street hadn't changed much in 15 years. Same faded red awning, same creaky wooden door that stuck in the humidity, same aroma of burnt espresso and cinnamon rolls wafting through the air. Elena Thompson pushed through the door, shaking rain from her umbrella, her heart pounding a little harder than it should for a simple reunion. She spotted him immediately, Mark Harlan, sitting at a corner table, nursing a mug. He looked older, of course, lines etched around his eyes, hair thinning at the temples, but that same easy smile when he saw her. He stood up, towering as always, and opened his arms. "Elena," he said, his voice warm like summer gravel roads. "God, it's been forever." She stepped into the hug, breathing in the faint scent of pine and soap that hadn't changed since high school. They pulled apart, laughing awkwardly, and sat down. Elena ordered a latte. Mark already had his black coffee. For the first hour, it was easy catching up on jobs, families, and old classmates who'd died, who'd moved away, who'd stayed stuck. "You look great," Mark said, his eyes lingering a second too long. "City life's treating you well." "You too," she replied. "Still the king of Willow Creek, building half the houses here." He chuckled. "Something like that. You should come by the house. Sarah would love to see you. And the kids, they've heard all the stories about Aunt Elena from back in the day." The stories. That's when the first flicker of unease came. Elena remembered the summers they spent roaming the woods, the secrets they shared under the stars. And one secret in particular, buried deep, but she pushed it down. It was ancient history, just kids being stupid. "So, what brings you back to town?" Mark asked, stirring his coffee unnecessarily. "Mom's estate stuff. Finally selling the house." Elena sipped her latte. "Figured I'd stay a week, sort through things. Small world," he said, grinning, but his eyes darted to the window, where rain streaked the glass. They talked longer, reminiscing about high school pranks, the time they skipped class to swim in the quarry. It felt good, comfortable, like slipping into an old jacket. When they parted with another hug, Elena felt lighter. Maybe coming home wasn't so bad after all. That night, in her mother's empty house, Elena couldn't sleep. The boxes in the attic called to her. She climbed the pull-down ladder, flashlight in hand, rummaging through yellowed photos and yearbooks. That's when she found it, an old Polaroid tucked into her senior yearbook. Her and Mark, arms slung around each other, grinning in front of the pine forest. On the back, in her teenage scrawl, "Summer '09, best friends forever. What happens in the woods stays in the woods." Her stomach twisted. She hadn't thought about that night in years. Not really. Therapy had helped bury it. But seeing Mark again, it unearthed everything. The next day, Elena drove out to the old trails. The pines were thicker now, the path overgrown, but she found the spot instinctively, a clearing near the creek where they departed that final summer before college. She walked deeper, fog curling low like ghosts. She wasn't sure why she came. For closure, curiosity. But as she poked around the underbrush with a stick, something caught her. A rusted corner of metal protruding from the soil, half hidden under roots. Her breath caught. No, it couldn't be. She knelt, digging with her hands, mud caking her fingers. After minutes of frantic scraping, she unearthed it. A small, battered tin box, the one they'd sworn to forget. The lid was corroded, but it opened with a creak. Inside, a faded necklace with a silver locket, a crumpled note in Mark's handwriting, and a Polaroid of a third person, Jamie Whitaker, their friend who'd vanished that summer. Elena remembered it all now, sharp as a blade. It was August 2009. The three of them, Elena, Mark, and Jamie, had snuck out for one last hurrah before leaving for college. Beers stolen from Mark's dad, a bonfire in the clearing. Jamie had been drunk, more than usual, ranting about his abusive father, about running away. Then, the argument started, Jamie accusing Mark of stealing money from his wallet earlier that week. Words escalated. Shoves. Mark had pushed Jamie hard, too hard. Jamie tripped, his head cracking against a rock by the creek. Blood, so much blood. Elena had screamed. Mark panicked. "He's fine," he'd said, checking for a pulse. But Jamie wasn't breathing. They'd buried the box with his things, the necklace his mother gave him, the note Mark wrote confessing the theft, the photo. Then they'd dragged the body deeper into the woods, covered it with branches and dirt. They told everyone Jamie ran away, just like he'd always threatened, and no one questioned it. A small town, a troubled kid. Elena sat back on her heels, the box in her lap, tears mixing with the rain. She'd convinced herself it was an accident, that they'd been kids. That silence was mercy. But now, seeing Mark living his perfect life, while Jamie rotted forgotten, her phone buzzed. A text from Mark. Hey, dinner tonight. Sarah's making lasagna. Kids are excited to meet you. She stared at the screen, fingers trembling. That evening, Elena arrived at Mark's house, a neat two-story on the edge of town, a picket fence, a swing set in the yard. Sarah greeted her warmly, hugging her like family. The kids, a boy of 10 and a girl of 8, shyly showed off their drawings. Dinner was delicious. Conversation light. Mark was charming as ever, telling stories that skirted the edges of truth. After the kids went to bed, Sarah excused herself to clean up. Elena and Mark sat on the porch, beers in hand, crickets chirping. This is nice, Mark said softly. Like old times. Elena set her beer down. Mark, he turned, his smile fading at her tone. I went to the woods today. His face went still. Why? I found the box. Silence stretched, thick as the night air. Elena, ... double quotes, he started, his voice low. It wasn't an accident, was it? She whispered. You pushed him on purpose. Because he knew about the money you stole, not just from him, but from others. He was going to tell. Mark's eyes darkened, a shadow crossing his features. No, he said finally. He was drunk. It was impulsive. But yeah, he wouldn't shut up. I just wanted him to stop. You killed him, Mark. And we covered it up. We were kids. Scared if we'd told our lives gone college, everything. And Jamie, his life was nothing. Mark leaned forward, his voice urgent. Listen to me. No one knows. The body's probably gone by now. That boxberry, it again deeper. We move on. For Sarah, for the kids, for your life. Elena stood, her heart racing. I can't. It's eaten at me for years. I thought seeing you would, I don't know, make it okay. But it's not. What are you going to do? His tone sharpened, a hint of threat. Go to the police. Tell them everything. He grabbed her arm as she turned to leave. Elena, think. They'll charge you too. Accessory, you helped bury the box. You lied for 15 years. She yanked free, staring at him, the boy she'd loved like a brother, now a stranger. Maybe I deserve that, she said, but you don't get to play happy family anymore. Inside, Sarah called out cheerfully. Mark's face crumpled for a moment, guilt, fear. Elena walked to her car, the box clutched to her chest. As she drove away, her headlights cutting through the dark, she dialed the non-emergency line for the Willow Creek PD. The past was buried no longer.